What's up YouTube? Georgia Silver Hunter back, and today we'll be hunting a $500 box of quarters that we picked up from actually one of the Wells Fargo branches that I usually drop off my half dollars after they've been hunted. Today they happen to have a box of NF String & Son quarters, which I haven't seen in a couple of years now. When I used to get them, we used to find at least like one silver in each box, so I'm excited to get into these rolls. If you're new here, we are coin roll hunting. We're looking for things like silver, San Francisco business strikes and proofs, as well as any kind of mint variety or error or coin that will hold or have some value today or in the future. So we'll be going through all 50 of these rolls, and I'll be bringing in and showing you what we find and talking about the value if it's there. Alright, well we're going to go ahead and start getting into these rolls. Now this video will be part of our Hunt and Fill series, even though we've completed 2 full sets of books, except for a couple of the newer 2023 quarters, which we will have our eye out for those. And of course we'll pull aside anything that looks really nice that we could use as an upgrade, and we'll compare that against our books. I do have a document, the description down below this video, that has all of the mint errors and varieties, the years that are silver, the W minted quarters, so I didn't mention that in the intro, the West Point minted quarters in 2019 and 2020, and those quarters can still be worth anywhere from about $10 all the way up to about $45 to $50. So we'll keep an eye out for those. Those are actually more valuable than silver today, so those are always a welcome sight. A lot of the errors we're looking for are die chip errors. They're mint problem. There were problems with the coins while they were being minted. A lot of times those end up only being worth $1 or $2, but if you keep enough of them, they can add up to some decent value. So I'm just kind of hunting this first roll on camera just to kind of show you how I look through them, and there's not been much for us to really dive in and look at. This is a really bad 2019. That is a Philly. But I will make sure to bring you in if we do find anything interesting. If we need to put it under the scope, we'll look at it together, because I want to make sure you know what I'm looking at and you know why the coins are special. Now these 2023 Eleanor Roosevelts have started to creep into this part of town. I know there's a newer release out there that we haven't seen yet, and I'm still looking for the Denver minted versions of those. I have found really nice Philly versions, but the Denvers just haven't made their way to Atlanta yet. I did pull aside here a 1965 and a 1966. The 66 does have a double die reverse, and I'm just checking it under the scope. If we happen to have one of those, I'll make sure to bring you down off the rack here so you can have a look at the coin with me. But I am not seeing the DDO or the DDR. The 65's got a DDO and DDR. The 66 has just a DDR. So with that, I'm going to go off camera. I'll keep hunting the rest of these rolls in this box, and I'll bring you in each time we find something of interest. Well, I'm not going to lie. This has been a really slow box of quarters. We're up here on roll number 23, and I've actually got 2 coins to show you. One I wasn't going to, but since I found a second semi-interesting coin in the roll, we'll talk about both. So the first one we'll talk about, I just came across here. This is the 2022 Philadelphia Wilma Man Killer, and it is a minor error. You'll see right here in the hair, there's a die chip. Let's get it under the scope so you can see it a little bit better. A die chip is where there's a little bit of extra metal that's not supposed to be there. It's left during the minting process, and you'll see right here, there's actually supposed to be like a little canal like you see here in the rest of the hair right there, but a little bit of metal was left behind. So that's considered a little die chip error. And we found another one, and this one's also really common. This is the 2021 Philadelphia Crossing the Delaware. This coin's not in great shape, but we've got the little die chip here on the hat. And there it is right there. What you're really looking for is when that die chip covers the entire hat. Those are still worth a pretty good amount of money on eBay. Something like this, especially in the condition, not worth very much at all. Maybe if you could get lucky $1, and honestly, after you paid for an envelope and a stamp and all that stuff, probably not worth hanging on to at all. But did want to show it to you guys. It's not supposed to be in there. They are little minor errors. Now, I have been keeping my bicentennials along the way. We've got 6 Phillies, 3 Denvers, all checked for the DDO, or at least the Denvers checked for the DDO. And I'm pulling sort of some potential book upgrades as we go as well. And I did notice when I had these spread out, I did have one more bicentennial here coming up. Let's check it out. We've got another Denver, which we can check for the DDO, and it's really obvious if you have it here in the B, E, R, and T, and you'll see a doubled E and a doubled R. I'll put a little image up here on the screen so you know what you're looking for in your hunts, but if you find one of those, it can be worth a good bit of money. And make sure you are checking for that D mint mark because it's only found on the Denver minted quarter. So we're up here on roll number 26, and it was the last quarter in the roll, and it's not a big deal, but it's a book filler, so a big deal for me. We've got ourselves a 2023 D, Eleanor Roosevelt. I've been on the hunt for one of these. I think I might actually need two. I'd have to go look at my books. I don't have them handy, but I know I needed at least one. So happy to have that, and we'll put that up here with our book upgrades / book fillers. Always excited for that. So we're up here on roll number 29, and we've got something interesting. It's a first for the channel, first for me in these quarter hunts. We've got ourselves a 2012 Philadelphia Alaska quarter, and I've seen this on Variety Vista. I've not seen a lot of other channels talk about this one, but we're going to look this one up on the computer and see what it's worth, but I'm going to show you what we have here real quick. It is one of the National Park DDRs that is cataloged by Variety Vista. And if you look right up here, and I don't know what this thing is. It's some sort of RAM, or I don't know what this thing's supposed to be. But you can see we've got doubling right here on the neck of this little beast here. I can't think of, maybe it's an elk, it's a ram. I don't know what this thing's called. But I've looked at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these and never actually found this little DDR. But I want to get you over to the computer. We're going to look at this thing on Variety Vista and see if we can find some comps over on eBay. So here we are on VarietyVista.com. It's a fantastic resource if you're unaware of it. It has great pictures and key markers that you could be looking for if you are hunting for varieties like this one. We are looking in the America the Beautiful quarters. We want to look at our DDRs, and we have ourselves an Alaska 2012 Philadelphia. And just real quick, if you go back, if there's no lines on there, if it's not a deep link, then chances are there's no sort of known varieties on that particular coin. So this is also another really good way to come and look and see who, where are they, what coins have varieties associated with them. So here's the 2012 Philadelphia, Alaska. If you look right here on DDR 001, this looks just like my quarter. We've got this little double part of the neck right here, and we can get some nice close-ups, and it even says it's got some light spread. West is an extra lower back neck of the ram, and it even tells you who reported it to them, which is pretty cool. Coming over here to eBay to look for value, I really struggled to find one exactly like mine, and actually I struggled to find any that had sold. We got lots of people selling BU ones for like 99 cents. Not sure how they're doing that, but here's one kind of like mine. You can see the little notch here on the ram. And they got $3.95 for it with free shipping, which eBay shipping right now tracked for single coin is like 90 cents or 81 cents or something like that. It's not the best. I know people are having trouble with it, but it's the cheapest way to send a tracked item today. Now, I have this pulled up for active listings, and here's somebody asking for $15. Here's one for $9.95, and here's one for $19.99. So right now, if I were to go list this for $4 or $5, I'd be the cheapest guy out here. And if one were to sell, it would probably end up being mine. So anyway, pretty cool. Let's get back to the hunt. We're all the way up here on roll number 36, and we have our next find. This is another one that's no stranger to the channel, but it has been a little while since I have found one. This is the 2015 Philadelphia Nebraska quarter from the America the Beautiful, or National Park Series, as a lot of people call it. We've got what's known as the Leaky bucket, where we have a big old die chip here that's not supposed to be there underneath the bucket. We put it under the scope so you can see it a little bit better. Right here, this huge chunk of metal that starts there and comes all the way up under the bucket, not supposed to be there. And some of the nicer versions of this are worth a couple of bucks. This one I wouldn't imagine I'd get too much for because it's in pretty bad shape. But it's missing the DDRs in the window, and I don't think we had any snow on the roof. But we definitely had that Leaky bucket. If I can find some comps, I'll either put them here to the right, or we'll put them on at the end of the video. So we're way up here on roll number 45, and we've found one of the newer little die chip errors, and I've found one of these in almost every quarter hunt I've done of late. This is the 2023 Philadelphia Kanaka-Ole quarter. There's a die chip down here in the NQ's part of her name. I'll get it up here in the scope so you can have a look. And this one's actually one I haven't quite seen haven't quite seen one like this in a while, but it's where we get little die chips here down in the K and the A of the Kanaka-Ole. And this is a rather large die chip, or a large piece of metal that was left behind this time. So I just wanted to call this out. This is really, really common and really not worth pulling and hanging on to. If you're an avid collector or something like you just really like collecting die chips, maybe get a roll of these, and then it's probably not worth hanging on to many more. That's just my opinion, though. You guys can look them up on eBay and see if they're worth your time. So we've reached the end of the box, and I'm going to go through a recap of our finds real quick, and you'll see we've got one lonely spot in the back that's awaiting some re-rolled quarters, which means we've got some finds to show you because we weren't able to fill up a whole wrap. I'm also going to put these books up here because these are the books, and actually I'm missing one, but we'll be upgrading or adding and upgrading some coins here in the American Women's Quarters books. I've got 2 of them because I've got 2 sets running, as well as I've got one of the 65 to 87 books that has an upgrade, as well as 1 quarter from the 88 to 98 book. So let's go through all of our finds here real quick. We'll start here with the either book fillers or upgrades. We have an 87 Denver upgrade. We've got a 93 Denver upgrade. We've got a 2005 California upgrade for our state book, which that's the one that was missing from up here. I did find, and this is going to be a hole filler, we've been looking for the Kanaka-Ole Denver quarters, and I did have one in this hunt. I didn't find a second, but we did have one. And I did come across 3 of the Denver minted Eleanor Roosevelt. So we're going to be plugging down. We'll pick the 2 best ones out of here and plug those into the book. As for finds, I did pull all of my bicentennials. Here's our Philly row. Here's our Denver row. Again, the DDO was checked for. We didn't find any, but we had 2, 4, let's see here, 6, 8, 10, 11 Philly bicentennials and 2, 4, 6, 8 Denver bicentennials. I'll pull a couple of the nicer ones. The rest will go back to the bank for you guys to find them if you're big collectors of those bicentennials. As for our errors, we did find a few. I brought you in for each one of these, at least, well, I should say each one of these. I didn't bring you in for all of these because we found them in the last 4 or 5 rolls, and they were all that Kanaka-Ole that has that die chip down in the K and the A, and you can even see a little bit here just under this magnification. I don't need to get it back under the scope, but each one of these, this one's a little harder to see, just to show you for sure. Let's get you down here. There it is. This one just had a little bit of that die chip in the A, but we found 4 of those along the way. We did have that Leaky bucket Nebraska quarter that we showed off. We only had 1 of the die chip crossing the Delawares. Now, I used to find like 5 or 10 or 12 of these, so us YouTubers have obviously educated the public on these because these are getting harder and harder to find. The die chip for the Wilma Mankiller, the Wilma Mankiller quarter, I still find lots of these, and it's because I don't think they're super high value, but I do find lots and lots of those. And I will stop and point out here, like I mentioned for the crossing the Delaware, the Drooling George was a quarter where you get a die chip here in the corner of George's mouth. I used to find sometimes 10, 12, 15 of those in a box. I've now done 2 or 3 hunts where I've either only found 1 or none, so the coin roll hunters are out there pulling those for sure. And probably one of my most excited finds is just one I've never had before, this Alaska 2012 Philadelphia with that DDR on the ram's neck there. I thought that was pretty cool. That's something I'll flip up and add to my collection, even though it's not the nicest quarter. You can see we've got bag marks and dings from other coins here on George's face, but I'll hang on to it because I think it's pretty cool, and it's the first one I have found. So with that, we have reached the end. Well, while you guys watch me punch down these quarters into my books, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. And if you do enjoy this video, or if you did enjoy this video, make sure you drop on down below and click on that like button and leave me a comment. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this one, make sure you do click on that subscribe button. Then click that little bell and select all so you get notified each and every time I do release a new video. I'd really appreciate it. I would like to give a special shout out to all my channel members. I really appreciate you guys supporting the channel each and every month. It means a lot. Thank you so much. What else can I say here? This was fun. I may actually buy a 3rd set of books because I will say I enjoy my quarter hunts when I'm able to fill in tons and tons of holes each and every hunt. But I don't know, maybe I'll start a whole new series at episode 1. We'll see. But anyway, I've got some videos coming, hopefully picking up some half dollars this weekend. And you guys stay tuned to the channel. Hopefully a lot more good content coming your way. With that, take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.